Supervive is dead. A game with a 50,000 player peak, unique and fun gameplay, a dedicated and loyal fanbase, and even Tom Kick. How can a game like this die? But before I get ahead of myself, Supervive is a MOBA meets Battle Royale hybrid that honestly, I would never have seen myself playing before, as I've never really been a fan of MOBAs myself. Despite this though, this game hasn't only just captivated me, but has gone on to receive great praise and success, not only from fans, but also large well-known streamers and content creators alike. This game seems to have it all. But if we look at Supervive right now, well, let's be honest, it's not looking great. So, what went wrong, and more importantly, why has it gone wrong? Released as an open beta in November 20th, 2024, Supervive was facing a lot of problems, but one of the biggest problems that Supervive has faced is most notably time. You'll see it everywhere, from Reddit forums to your favourite Twitch streamers. People can't stop talking about how Supervive has rushed development and launched in high competition. With games like Marvel Rivals and PoE 2 that have gone on to dominate the market, breaking records and hitting new heights. I mean, it's no wonder why this game has kind of been forgotten. Because even if people had a great experience playing this game, the fact is that people would just go to the more popular game. Whether that's for faster queue times or, in my opinion, more importantly, if their friends are playing that game. We could already tell that this game was going to struggle from the start, as not only is it really hard to compete with massive corporations and their higher budgets for marketing, but PoE 2 and Marvel are household names already, that over the years have built large fan bases. And so a lot of people either gave Supervive a miss, or just lost interest over time. But that was until the Creator Cup. The Creator Cup was a 2-day event where a group of content creators and professional league players would fight against each other in the first ever large-scale esport tournament for Supervive. And this did really well, incredibly even, garnering 84,000 peak viewers with the likes of Disguised Toast, Miskiv and I'm a Cutie Pie playing. This was bound to bring a lot of new and needed attention. And it did, seeing its highest peak in players since its release. But I think the real MVP of the tournament was the Train.
All these Kobayashi guards are getting involved, and here comes the bullet train!
Oh my God, the Train just won! What?
The Train just killed 5 people and ended the game! I think
I wonder who did that. It's me. And if you're enjoying this video, then please hit like and subscribe. And let's get back into the video. Despite this massive peak in players though, this was short-lived and would not last for long, as the player base would begin to dwindle little by little, day by day, seeing smaller and smaller numbers. This again really wasn't helped by the new updates and changes to the rank system, controversially adding AI into their game to fill player spaces late at night, just so queue times would be faster. And whilst in theory that sounds great for everyone, this would actually lead to a massive inflation of ranks, as some people would get into full player stacks and farm AI late at night to gain elo. And it would just mean that players that have put in hundreds if not thousands of hours grinding this game would be pushed down on the leaderboards within a couple of days. And as you can imagine, this led to outrage in the community, as people who would get on to play casually with their friends for a few games would be immediately met with people who have been grinding for hours and sweating for the highest ranks, and since this game puts you against any rank, they could find themselves repeatedly getting dunked on and sent back into lobby, which we all know is not fun. And this eventually led to their friends to stop playing, and then eventually they would stop playing, and again, the player base would shrink. But something I've noticed lately is that the free-to-play genre has completely been dropped on its head. Because I used to remember when a free-to-play game would be niche and they could be popular, but they had their own small tight-knit communities with well-known players in that space, and there would only be a few exceptions to that rule, like TF2, etc. but it seems like now every game is free to play, with a level of quality and quantity of a AAA game even better than a AAA game. And I'd definitely say that is the fault of Fortnite though. I mean, think about games like Shroud, Spectre Divide, Battle Right, and many others. These games that all seem great and had a lot of potential and unique gameplay, they all saw the same fate. A huge spike of players, and then it fizzles out. I mean, let's take Battle Right for example. Battle Right was a 3v3 arena MOBA-like game that saw a huge spike of 47,000 players. It received a lot of love and appreciation from the community, getting a 9 out of 10 on Steam and an 85% on Metacritic. This game seemed like a success, but the same thing happened. Only a month went by and the player base almost halved. And another 2 months, this game sat at its lowest player count of 4,000. And you can imagine, Stunlock Studios were in a tricky spot. They had everything they needed to make a great game, but somehow they just kept losing players after players after players. And they wanted to ride the hype of their previous game they made. And that's when they made Battle Right Royale. And it is exactly what you expect it to be. Except, this game flopped hard, as it was very hard to port elitist MOBA players to a brand new game that kinda felt like a shoddy attempt to cash in on the Battle Royale genre. However, it did see a lot of love from the small community that it made, but again, you can't make a Battle Royale with a small amount of players. It's just a recipe to fail. So again, this game died. But I hear what you're saying. What does this mean for Supervive? And this isn't exactly the easiest question to answer, but I'll give you my thoughts right now. Because in my opinion, this game is actually doing really well, and I would urge any of you out there to try it for yourself. And despite the lower player count, this game is still really fun, and queue times don't really affect you unless you make it to the higher ranks. So whilst it's not Fortnite or Marvel Rivals level of speed, it's usually only a minute or two, and we're not that brain rotted yet, I'm sure. But as of right now, I'm actually having a great time with it, and I believe that it actually has a lot of potential for future growth and longevity. As long as they can facilitate good marketing, quality updates, and continue listening to the community, I can see this game thriving and having the same effect that the finals has had on players. And that game is currently sitting at 20k average, so a clap and a half, you know what I mean? But I can also see this game going the other way. And I really hope it doesn't, genuinely. Because I've had so much fun playing this game with my friends, dunking people left and right. Even climbing the rank ladder was really fun. So it would be a massive shame to see all that work and quality that was put into this game go to waste. But I didn't want just my opinions in this video, so I asked a professional player and esport coach, Tom Kick, about the future of Supervive. And this is what he had to say. Tom, as someone who has been playing for a very long time now, what do you think of the current state of the game and like sort of where the game is heading?
I think right now it is in a rough spot, as everybody can see, but I don't think like it is worrisome yet. I talk about like a lot of this myself, but we're in a beta phase where a lot of things needs to be fixed, a lot of things needs to be updated, and etc. And of course we would all want to have higher numbers, better numbers, whatever it is, but I wouldn't be too worried. But I do see clear things that can be improved on, and as long as the devs keep on listening, as it seems like they are doing, then I think it'll be moving into a good direction.
What do you think of these new ranked and bot changes, and like how has this affected you as a player?
Well, we'll get new rank changes again already next week, so it hasn't really bothered me too much. Like they said they were implementing like halfway some of the ideas they had for the full implementation because of the resurgence they wanted to test out. So it didn't really bother me too much. Of course, bots are annoying. I haven't really felt it too much myself, but from the people that I've talked about, mostly it seems that when you're playing on the typical 3, 4, or 5 a.m., then sure you'll be seeing a lot of bots. Or if you play duo queue, which is a less populated lobby, you'll probably see more bots in duos in general.
Actually a pretty decent question. What do you think, you know, the difference between Supervive and the Battle Royale sort of is?
That's a good question. Yeah, I played a lot of Battle Royale. I have like 300-400 hours in Battle Royale and played my fair share of like Battle Royale as well.
Yeah.
I found it a little bit more on the later stages, but I've talked to a lot more people that played it to learn more of the history.
Yeah.
What I think the main differences is that when you look at Battle Royale and Supervive, Battle Royale is a very repetitive mode. There isn't much of nuance and things that change each round. You have a set amount of champions, like characters, I don't remember what they call it in Battle Royale, but like you have these characters, they have like a decent amount of it, but it's just like a battle mode arena, like the same as you have in Supervive arena mode, but that isn't the focus for Supervive. So with the Battle Royale mode, you have a lot more nuance, you have a lot more things changing, so you don't get tired of it as quick. What I think is that the problem was that Battle Royale was already kind of dead. Like the game had released, the players were low on release, and then they tried to revive it when everybody already remember the name of Battle Royale. I think the backbone of it trying to revive itself when it was already dead was a problem, where you see when they do re-rising, I think did a lot better, but then again still a little bit too repetitive. It's hard to keep it alive for like a long period of time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's all I've got. If you want to plug your stuff, please do. I'll put it in the description and stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate you reaching out to interview. It was a lot of fun.
No, 100%.
You can find me streaming almost every day on Twitch, Tom_Kick, and you can find my YouTube as well, Tom_Kick. Try to make as much content as possible.
Too much. Loads and loads.
I just want to say thank you again to Tom Kick, because this interview was amazing and I really appreciate it. But I had to cut a lot of the footage from this video because the interview was about 45 minutes long. And if you're interested, the whole interview is uploaded on my channel. I'll link it up there. So if you guys did enjoy this video, then please hit like, please hit subscribe. It all helps me just to know what content you guys are liking. As this took a little while to make, but I'm glad I made it. And if you're interested, you can join our Discord and go watch that video about how to get the best frames in Marvel Rivals. Have a good one.